Put the keys in there. And let's work on, so this time what I'm working on is I want to make sure that there's space. So you had a pretty decent mix as far as we could hear everybody, but because we could hear everybody, we could distinguish nobody. So we want to make sure there's always space in the mix. And in general, that's going to look like a big trade-off between keys and pads and your guitars. Because the pads are usually pretty much energy at every frequency in the octave they're being played in, which is going to muddy any other instrument, drum, cymbal, anything that's in that space. So, and you can especially like, do you hear how mud that is? It's almost like just a reverb of white noise. So, which can be great if it's all that we hear, but when there's lots of other stuff, I mean, we could even drop that to -20.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll see when they come back if they give us another run at that song. The other thing that we're going to do to break up that wall of noise is we're going to start introducing vocal effects. This is where they're really helpful, is in spatial positioning of the sound. Kind of putting people in the tunnel, so to speak.
It's like a synth bass part, but it's like, just play.
One of the ways that I tell engineers to approach every song, and this last week I mentioned to you, like when you're mixing, you should try and memorize all the songs before you even arrive at rehearsal, is try and think 2 sections of the song ahead. So like if we're in a verse, I want you to be thinking about the chorus. You've skipped the pre-chorus, we're already on the chorus. So that when those transitions hit, instead of reacting to build the new mix, you can proactively build the new mix as they transition in. Like for example, one of the ways metal loves to do this is they'll do like a drum fill where it's like a bunch of kicks and then they'll kind of crash everywhere and then the guitars come back in. If you know that's coming, then when everyone drops, you can already be bumping your drums out. And then you can be pulling it again when the chorus hits so that the guitars feel even stronger.
He's a good guy, good bass player. First Sunday.
With CCM, like all the kind of contemporary worship music, they're pretty predictable song structures. So even for like this one where I know like we're not on planning something for this week, we didn't know what they were going to play before we got here. But even for these, we can probably predict, you know, when they're building up to do a little dropout or when the bridge is going to repeat for the 16th time or, you know, any of those trademark signature Hillsong moves.
Yeah.
So let's do that again, then we'll just keep on going, huh?
Oh, he's going to keep on going.
Here it comes. Watch it.
So here comes another one.
So all in at the top bass here.
Awesome. So I love that the bass is driving for us here. And we've got the keys. We're leaving plenty of space. I do want to know the guitars are there, because there is that lead line. And then it sounds like this guy's leading again. Our tracks that bring him up. So feel how much space there is in this mix. So now let's bump up our subs to kind of glue it together a little more, because we talked about we need to feel too much here in the booth. There we go. There's a lead line. So if we knew it was coming, we could have already bumped our leads up for that, and then we'd pull it back now for the verse. Nice. I'm gonna jump over to my keys here for a second, with just a little more pad to fill the space here. We're about to go into a chorus. I'm gonna switch my build by pulling keys back and guitar. And I'm just rebalancing vocals because we have a real person with the track. There they are. So here's a nice lead line. When we get to the verse, we're gonna rebuild that starting one. So I'm just slowly bringing this down. It's gonna make space for the keys. And then let's also pull our lead down so we can keep those rhythm chugs. Nice. And then we're gonna bring the lead back in, not yet. But when they get to the chorus, we'll push it back in. Okay, so now let's talk about making space. I'm gonna put my verb in. Nice. Awesome. So let's make some space with the verb. I'm gonna start with too much. and then bring it back to where it feels right. Nice, we're gonna let keys lead here. Everyone else dropped out, let's push the pad. And then we can assume that guitars are gonna lead this drive and the drums. So we can slowly pull this DCA and push these two to get that trade-off as they build. Stretch that transition, here we go. So now we can slowly pull down here, and these two we're gonna push up a little bit. Now add in some bass so we feel it stronger. Nice. And then, right, and then I would let the guitars be in charge here. Like big, you know, those power chords they're hitting. Nice. Gonna take a look up here. We're at 102. This should probably be our top for this song. So we should be looking for other opportunities to bring everything down. Not now, they're at their peak, but
we can on that break on the first chorus.
okay. That was sounding really good, and you were doing a great job of following those transitions. One thing I want to push you to do next time is instead of one element at a time, where you hold the keys and then you push the guitars and drums, try and do that as one double length transition between the two, so that we almost don't notice the transition happening. The longer you can make a transition take, the less people will notice the change, and the more it'll just really be like, oh, the song is different now. Okay, so here's our dropout, so we can push the keys in the pad. And now that we know it's coming, let's bring these down so that you have lots of room. So now we'll start building. We can bring the pads down. Nice. So we're gonna make all that space. And now push it. Yeah! Feel that hit? That's the music!
If you can,
Nice.
that'd be sweet. If it's too ingrained in your brain, you did. So it's more of a 3, 4.
Okay, while we have this break in between songs, I want to talk about uses for reverb. So reverb does three things for us. One thing it does is it takes the sound from a flat image and it makes it something that wraps around us. This is a more intangible thing you got to feel out. It's an artsy thing. But it also does something where we can distance backgrounds from foregrounds. So right now, she is the background vocalist and the track guy is a foreground vocalist. So if we put, which right now he's got no verb because he's a track, but if we put lots of verb on her and none on him, he's gonna sound like he's in front and she's behind him, which is gonna help us space that out. I think she's a lead now, so you won't get to practice that on this one. But just remember it and we'll come back to it at the end.
Less reverb when she's leading.
A little bit. We still want that immersion.
Yeah.
So for me, what it comes down to is finding that spot where the sound feels immersive, but it doesn't feel distracting. That's a pretty good level where you've got it right now. Okay, pause your mixing right now. And I just want you to listen to the difference. Wait for it. Do you feel it? Okay. How are you going to change your sound when this drops in a second?
This is about to drop into a pre-chorus, so more space and then back in.
So here I'd push that bass, because that's what we didn't have in the first verse.
Yeah.
I'd pull keys a little bit, and I'd let our guitars take over. That way when you get back to the chorus, we can hit those big piano, like those octaves that he's playing. Here we go.
electric is overwhelming the rhythm, or it might be the other way. One of them is taking too much energy. Yeah. There it is. Okay, close your eyes. What's overwhelming you? Especially the cymbals. So what I would do is I would just take our overheads and pull them out of the house. That's that bottom up. You can hear the cymbals just fine. So we can keep them out of the house completely or just a little bit and trust that they're gonna bleed through all the rest of these, which is plenty for the live stream. Yeah. Let's let those guitars lead, the rhythm electric EG2, and we'll pull that lead out. So we're a little bit hitting that wall of sound saturated noise. Notice that we're up here like 1 and 2 dB again. I'm gonna start by just dropping the whole band by 5 dB and see if we can get more space this way. Sometimes when it's too loud, you'll know because the mix will start to blend into just this kind of muddy, saturated sound. And that's a sign for you that it's too loud.